Are we live? Is this live? It says I'm live. Okay. Okay, I'm live, I think. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Lopez, representing Who Are They Real Entertainment. This is not my usual setup, so please excuse me if it sounds weird or if it looks funny or if the white background is a little off-putting. But what's going on? It's not really a commentary, but I'm here to talk about the Critics' Choice Super Awards, this award show that is its first annual. Maybe we'll see it again. But it just got done about 15 minutes ago on the CW. And I am here to chat about it. Because honestly, this show, since its inception, was supposed to be for like geeks and stuff, right? I believe it was pitched as the genre show because all these other award shows don't necessarily show any love to the genre, movies, television series, and really everything else in between. But this show itself, I'm not going to put my glasses there. The show itself definitely did that. It showed a lot of love to both genres because every single category was genre specific. They focused on science fiction fantasy. They focused on horror. They focused on action. And it was pretty dope to see. And it felt kind of weird because it's not what we're used to. It's definitely not what we're used to in regards to award shows, but it was on the CW too. And the CW at this point is the king or queen of genre television series. But we're going to talk about all this fun stuff, not for too long, because I know some people have some football to watch. Unfortunately, the Chicago Bears lost earlier today, so I'm not going to have to worry about football anymore for the season. But right now, a lot of the people here at Who Are They Real Entertainment are watching the Browns just put a whooping on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's going on right now, but we're not talking about football today. So the Critics' Choice Awards, or the Critics' Choice Super Awards, a spin-off of the Critics' Choice Awards. I mean, God, where do I even start? I don't want to run down through the winners because, you can just look those up, honestly, and I feel like that's what. I'll start from the jump. The idea of this show just felt off to me. I didn't know how to first interpret it when I saw it. When I heard that they were doing a genre-specific show, what's going on, Jess? How you doing? Hope you're doing well on this Sunday. Hope you're feeling better. The idea of a genre-focused award show just felt different, and I guarantee the people at the CW and Warner Brothers were like, yo, let's go ahead and focus on these genres that don't get too much love at award shows, and I totally don't blame them. And just turning this show on, my TV felt off. But at the same time, it's an award show during a pandemic. And we saw, I think it was the Emmys. The Emmys had one a couple months ago. And to me, they nailed it. The Emmys nailed how to do an award show during a pandemic. This, on the other hand, felt like those press conferences and those comic conventions or those showcase conventions that Disney and DC did over the last few months as well. This gave me hardcore DC fandom vibes. If you don't know what that is, DC fandom was their showcase of materials, whether comic, film, or television. Shout out to Taylor Cleek in the chat. The Chris Anthony Lopez with yet another different background. I'm at work. I'm sorry. I came into work tonight and I was watching the Super Awards, and now here I am. I promise this will not be a regular occurrence. I missed my bookshelf. So DC fandom, what it was just them showcasing all of their materials, but it was like on a sound stage and everything was spaced out. Everyone was spaced out. And you can tell everything was shot on a green screen. That's exactly how this was. This gave me that vibe of DC fandom. This felt like DC fandom, just minus Robert Pattinson's Batman, and let's show love to genre series and to films. And it just felt weird to me. It was hosted by Kevin Smith and Danny Fernandez. Kevin Smith, the famed cult movie director of like Clerks and Tusk and Yoga Hosers for all my Kevin Smith fans out there. But, oh gosh, I don't even know where to begin. One thing I will say about this show that I really, really enjoyed was it did what it set out to do. It did exactly what it set out to do. They wanted to show love to all these genre categories, all these genre films, and they did that to a T. They showed love to things I never thought would get any more love than they did. Taylor in the chat, if they had more of Robert Pattinson's Batman, I would have watched. They did show us a little bit more of Batwoman. If you're interested in that, you want to keep in the Bat family. And Jess in the chat on Facebook, what's going on? Taylor are on the phone separately watching Chris do the same damn thing, or doing the damn thing. Wait, are y'all both watching this like together? I appreciate y'all supporting me anyway. But no, seriously, this show did exactly what it set out to do. And I respect that, because I thought this would be a gimmick. I thought this would be just something, another attempt to cash in on the geeky crowd. And I would love to know the numbers of how many people came out and watched this if I was the only one that watched the entire thing. But it did its job, and it showed love to a lot of the more niche TV shows and movies, just to name a few. Lovecraft Country got a lot of love tonight. Love for Vikings, I believe it won Best TV or Best Action Series. Shout out to them focusing on a horror, and actually they may not have awarded the more niche and the more indie horror stuff, but they definitely name dropped and they mentioned a lot of smaller horror flicks, a lot of smaller actors and actresses that I had no idea came out in 2020. Like, it was pretty damn cool to see. Taylor in the chat again. We are connected from afar by our fandom. Y'all are too sweet. Are you interested in Batwoman at all? How'd it look? It looks like every other superhero series that the CW has put out. And Batwoman Season 1, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on the show. But I'm forgetting the actress's name, but they had to recast after, oh my God, Ruby Rose opted not to return for Season 2. So Batwoman, it looks like a CW superhero show. It looks more like Arrow, like OG seasons of Arrow, just with the woman as the protagonist. And I can't tell you anything about the show because I haven't seen it. I wish I could tell you more. Maybe I'll binge it on HBO Max. I'll get back to you on that, Taylor. Saw Jenny Smollett won a trophy. Her performance is amazing. She should have won all of them. She was nominated twice for her acting. Once for Birds of Prey, the other one for Lovecraft Country, and she actually won for Lovecraft Country. I believe it was Best Actress in the Horror Series. After looking at all the nominees, that's the thing I didn't like about this. I didn't like about this show, is that everything felt predictable. Like, there was one name that stuck out in all the categories for the most part. The one thing I was surprised by was Pedro Pascal not getting any love for Best Actor in a Sci-Fi Fantasy Series. I believe the winner of that was, I gotta look that up now. It was, oh my God. Give me a second, I'll get back to you on that, Taylor. But yeah, Jenny Smollett, she won for Lovecraft Country, which I was totally, which, I mean, the one episode I did see, I was definitely a fan. If I would have kept watching, I would have been watching for Jenny Smollett. And it went to Patrick Stewart for Star Trek Picard. He beat out Pedro Pascal, to my surprise. There's a lot of love for Star Trek too, and I'll get to that in a second. Just in the chat. Chris, I'm doing very well, thank you. No doubt about it. I'll be seeing you next time you're in town. We're on the phone watching at the same time from our own homes. Oh, okay, cool. Bet. And yeah, Jess, if I'm back in the area, we'll have to, like, come on now, like Wacom felt incomplete without you, 1,000%. And Jess, I'm a fan of Ruby Rose as a person, not crazy about her acting ability. Sorry. I mean, that's the popular opinion, that her acting isn't the best. I heard she was all right in Batwoman. I know I've seen her in some stuff where I'm like, yo. They keep her I think she was in the first John Wick. They kept her dialogue to a minimum. I will say that. And Taylor, one more time, if you didn't get too scared to keep watching, and that's in regards to Lovecraft Country. Yes, Lovecraft Country is terrifying, and I heard it gets more terrifying as it goes. But dude, this year I made it one of my New Year's resolutions. Yes, I'm that guy, to watch more television. So I just got done watching High Fidelity on Hulu. It's a crime that show got canceled. I'm going to watch Cobra Kai when I get done here. And yeah, Lovecraft, that's definitely something I'm going to get back to. But Lovecraft Country got a lot of love. Actually won Best Horror Series because Lovecraft Country was like the biggest thing ever for a while. People kept talking about it every single week, especially with a decent amount of my friends being horror fans. I heard about this, Taylor being one of them. So you can catch his show, Really Scared, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. But no, this show had a few different surprises in regards to winners. Like I mentioned, Vikings winning Best Action Series. Granted, the nominees weren't that crazy because there aren't too many action shows out there. Palm Springs was probably the best thing that was mentioned all night. Palm Springs is probably my favorite movie of last year. I haven't done like a top 5 or top 10 movies of last year because I haven't seen everything. But Palm Springs will probably be my one when I do that. And that movie won not only Best Sci-Fi Fantasy Flick, but also won Best Sci-Fi Actress and Actor for Kristen Milioti and Andy Samberg, respectively. And I guarantee, come Oscar time, we will see their names once again. I will be shocked if Palm Springs doesn't get at least one acting nom, whether it's for Samberg or for Milioti. Either one. I thought both of them, if I had to pick one, I'm picking Milioti to get the acting nom, but damn, that movie's so good. And that was to start the show for me, because I was a little bit late to the party. But they also showed love to The Five Bloods. That one, Best Action Movie. I didn't know The Five Bloods was an action movie. Is The Five Bloods an action flick? Taylor in the chat. I still gotta watch Palm Springs. Yes, you do. Palm Springs is so dope. Genuinely. Like, it's really freaking good. I think it came out in March or April, real early in the lockdown or in the beginning of the summer, late spring. And it's so damn good. It's so freaking good. And that's how the show opened for me. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll keep checking this thing out. So that happened. Taylor, I would not call The Five Bloods an action movie. That's what I thought. That The Five Bloods would not be an action flick. Like, I thought it was a drama with action in it, like Saving Private Ryan. Is Saving Private Ryan an action movie? No, it is not. Taylor or Mateo in the chat. What's going on? What's going on, Mateo? What is going on, my main man, Mateo Nino? So yeah, Palm Springs is the best thing to be mentioned. I missed The Five Bloods winning Best Action Movie. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on that. But from what I've seen of it, it's not an action flick, and that's the vibe I got throughout the entire night. A lot of love for Supernatural. I know Supernatural just ended. Did anyone see that? Did anyone watch the last season of Supernatural? And if so, how was it? I mean, I haven't seen anything of Supernatural, so I can't comment on the show's quality. But I feel like the hype for that show didn't make it to the finale. And when the finale aired, it just aired and it went away. That's what I got. That's what I assumed happened to Supernatural. One of the things that made me very happy with this show, they showed love to animated series and movies in a critical sense and not just what's popular. And I'm talking about like the Rick and Mortys, and they showed love to Star Trek Lower Decks. Is anyone even watching that? But Bojack Horseman won Best Animated Series, and I lost my mind. The show that never won an Emmy for how good it was. The show that just went under the radar for years. I've been talking about Bojack Horseman in private or on social media for years, and it finally won something, and it was the Critics' Choice Super Awards. So when I look back at this award show in a year, I would think to myself, they gave love to Bojack Horseman. That's all I could ask for. Mateo in the chat, Supernatural is such a good show. Amazing final season. See, and I haven't seen that. Like, Mateo, you are the first person to tell me their thoughts about the final season of Supernatural, because I saw nothing. Even on social media, I saw nothing about the last season of Supernatural. I actually did look at an article from BuzzFeed. One of the writers over there, they watched the first episode and the last episode, and that's it. It was actually pretty dope, and she ran down like both episodes. It was pretty great, but I haven't seen anything in regards to the final season. I haven't, and maybe one day I'll watch Supernatural, but as of right now, I have so many other things to catch up on. Lord Jesus. They gave some love to The Hunt as well. Betty Gilpin won Best Actress in an Action Movie. Again, would you call The Hunt an action movie? I didn't see The Hunt, but nah. Taylor Click in the chat. Don't let Matt and George know you haven't seen Supernatural to come for you. Take it from me. No, they know. I told them. Taylor, I definitely told them. I want to say George took away my geek card. Take that as you wish. Mateo, it breaks people's hearts. From what I've heard, or from what I've seen, excuse me, I see why. I see why. But again, Supernatural is like 50 seasons. And I don't know when I'll get to that. It's like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead will never end. I thought Supernatural will never end. But The Hunt, same thing. They gave some love to The Hunt, specifically Betty Gilpin. I don't want to say The Hunt is an action flick from what I've seen of it, but I guess it is by default. And that's the hard thing, right, with these award shows. And one of the other big talking points of this award show. So you want to nominate all the genre stuff that happened from 2020. Okay, there wasn't too much of it. So you saw a lot of repeat movies and series. Whether it's showing love to Lovecraft Country, whether it's showing love to Birds of Prey. I'll get to Birds of Prey in a second. They were showing a lot of love to some animated movies that weren't released in theaters. Like it was really weird. It felt really off, but there wasn't too much that came out in 2020. I would have loved to see this in 2019 or 2018, where we get like an influx of geeky stuff, the genre stuff that we all love. Taylor in the chat, get it back from him in WatCon 3. He took my geek card forever ago. Ever since I told him I love multiple movies that he does not. Jessica in the chat, it's almost a blessing not to see anything online regarding the final season on such a huge show like Supernatural, so that dedicated fans can actually watch it without spoilers over the internet. Yes, you didn't see that, unlike shows like The Mandalorian, where they come out and everyone's like, oh, spoiler, immediately after the episode airs. Excuse me. So yeah, it's pretty refreshing, but at the same time, kind of concerning, because that's the world that we live in now, where people have to be away from social media so they don't get spoiled from things, because that's how big the hype is. And I thought the hype going into Supernatural's last season was huge, because that's a big show ending. And it just ended, at least to me, as a fan, as someone who isn't a fan of Supernatural. Jessica, again, The Hunt was amazing. Was it? Do I have to watch this? I love Betty Gilpin. I love her in Glow, even though, excuse me, Glow, is that my laptop? Yep. Glow. Glow got canceled because of the pandemic, and I will forever be pissed. And Betty Gilpin really made her name on that show, which she is freaking phenomenal. And she was in The Hunt, and do I gotta watch this, Jess? Maybe WatCon 3, we can sit down and watch The Hunt. Taylor in the chat. Oh, Jessica again. Yes, you have to watch it. I loved it. All right. I'll take your word for it. I'll add it to my list of 2020 movies. But Taylor Cleek in the chat. The Hunt as action is fair, I guess. It's more like a battle royale. Yeah, so would we consider movies like Running Man or the Hunger Games action movies? I mean, I see the argument to why and why not. So it is what it is. So, yeah, there's a lot of repeat movies, and that was the problem with doing this award show in a year like 2020, because there wasn't a lot of content. I believe Best Sci-Fi Action Show went to The Mandalorian, as it should have. The Boys, oh my God, The Boys got a lot of love. I don't know if y'all have seen The Boys. Woo! That Amazon Prime series is so damn good. The Boys is probably one of the better shows I've seen in the last few years. I binged I binged the 2 seasons while the second season was airing, because they aired it weekly on Amazon Prime, and it's so freaking good. Anthony Starr got a lot of love from that. Aya Cash, also, she played Stormfront in that show. That was really dope, as I'm getting texts from Taylor Cleek in the chat. Let me see what he sent me. Danny DeVito, his Batman villain, the Penguin could return. No. God, no. I know Real Talk was earlier today, but I'll give my 2 cents on this movie news. No, he could return. Anyone could do anything. I could be Batman, maybe one day. Jessica in the chat. Jessica, Taylor and I have been meaning to start The Boys. I love Aya Cash. She is so good. in season 2. She's only in season 2, but she's so damn good. Oh my god! And the boys, the boys starts off hot. I remember watching the boys the first episode, and holy shit! I didn't want to cuss on this program, but it hits the ground running, literally. And you'll see when I say that, or you'll see when the show when the episode starts, you'll see why I say it hits the ground running. So, but yeah, Aya Cash is fantastic in that show. What's the guy's name? Jack something. I forget the main guy's name, but I gotta look his name up now because it's gonna piss me off. No, but the boys got a lot of love at this award show as well for good reason, and they were doing it as a comic book series, like superhero comic book series. That's how a lot of these get it, the super awards, superhero stuff. That's how they're going to go about it. And with this, Jack Quaid, he's another person who's so good. He doesn't play a superhero per se in The Boys, but he's so damn good in that show as well. Another Hulu recommendation, Plus One, stars Jack Quaid. Great romantic comedy. One of the more realistic romantic comedies I've ever seen in my life. But yes, The Boys got a lot of love for their Amazon Prime run so far, because they're about to start season 3 production soon, I think. So The Boys got a lot of love. Jessica Nieves in the chat. She was in an FX show called You're the Worst, and I immediately fell in love with her. If you haven't seen that show, I recommend it also. Is it on Hulu? Because I'm assuming if it's on FX, it's on Hulu. And Aya Cash, what else is she in? She was in something else that I really, really enjoyed. So I'm gonna have to check out more Aya Cash stuff. Star Trek. Star Trek was the Legacy Award. Their Legacy is like the Cecil B. DeMille or any of these one person awards that is announced ahead of time. And the Legacy Award for the first ever Critics' Choice Super Awards went to Star Trek as a franchise. Yeah, that's how you should start. If you want to be niche, if you want to show love to the niche genres, Star Trek for the longest time was the epitome of niche. On television, on film, toys, video games, comics, all that jazz. Star Trek has always been super niche, and although Star Wars blew up in the pop culture zeitgeist, word of the day, zeitgeist, Star Trek, it did, but not to the degree that Star Wars was. So the fact that they gave this award to Star Trek as a whole, which I don't know how you give an award to Star Trek, but they did, and it was great seeing Sonequa Martin Green, who's on Star Trek Discovery, and Patrick Stewart talk about Star Trek and their experiences with it. It was actually really damn cool. So that was pretty wholesome, especially halfway through the show. But to end the show, they focused on comic book and superhero movies. And this year, they had to specify that comic book and superhero movies are going to be like video games, obviously comic book heroes and all that stuff. Taylor Cleek in the chat. Whatever happened to the George Thomas Drunken Star Trek, the movie watch along? Is that after the Batman table read? I think it's alongside, not to break kayfabe over here, but I think it's alongside Atonement, the Batman table read, the Star Wars table read, and things like that probably won't happen on this channel after months of talking about them. I would still love to do it, maybe WatchCon 3. Who knows? Jessica, it is on Hulu. 5 seasons. Season finale aired. Whoa! Oh, I said season. I thought series. Dope. 5 seasons? And is she? I'm assuming she's a main cast member. Then I'm in. Damn, I'm gonna have to remember that because I will forget. But they specified that superheroes weren't just comic books. They really broadened that out, and they proved it to us by not only giving Best Actor to Ewan McGregor for his role in Birds of Prey, Best Actress to Margot Robbie in Birds of Prey, and the Best Superhero Comic Book Movie was The Old Guard. The Old Guard won Best Superhero Comic Book Movie, and Has anyone seen The Old Guard? Not that I've heard it's bad or anything, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it. And it won, according to the critics, Best Superhero Comic Book Movie. So you give the performances to Birds of Prey, and then the movie goes to The Old Guard. Granted, some actors from The Old Guard were nominated in the acting categories, but still, it felt kind of off. Like, it was like, wow, that's how you end the show. You end it with giving the love to The Old Guard on your superhero genre-specific award show. And the award was given out by, it was Courtney Ford and Brandon Routh, real-life couple who are no stranger to the CW. And Courtney Ford's like, oh, and the best superhero comic book movie goes to, and Brandon Routh's like, Superman Returns. Great jab, Brandon Routh. It's awfully appreciated. Plus, it was pretty damn hilarious. Taylor, I'm assuming this is about my comment on things that won't happen on this channel. We'll see. I still want to do that Batman thing. I bought the script. I want to do it. Jessica, I'm assuming Aya Cash is also in The Wolf of Wall Street. Ooh, geez, this is where I confess. I'm probably one of the only males on this earth who has not seen The Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, sorry. Speaking of watch-alongs, You're the Worst also features Stephen Mendel, famously seen in our Jack Frost watch-along. Yes, he's only known for You're the Worst and the watch-along of Jack Frost on Really Scared, which you can catch on this YouTube channel or on this Facebook, however you're watching this. Yes, Taylor, we're doing that Batman thing, damn it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it one of these days. Batman Dark Knight. We better do that script, I swear. But maybe we'll do the other fun stuff that we say we're going to do. But at this point, just stick to the weekly programming. But in conclusion, I've already been going for almost half an hour. I want to do 15 minutes. I did half an hour, which is kind of my MO at this point. The Critics' Choice Super Awards did its job. It showed us that these genre movies and shows should be getting the love that they deserve, honestly. And I hope we'll see that at the Emmys and the Oscars going forward, and the Golden Globes. Although the Golden Globes does a better job of that than the Emmys or the Oscars. But there's a lot of great genre television that genuinely is good. And the fact that there's an award show now that exists for it, as a fan of all this stuff, it's pretty damn cool. I really enjoyed watching the Critics' Choice Awards, or Critics' Choice Super Awards. I didn't think I would, and I will say in confidence now that I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. What I did learn as well is that there's a lot of TV that I have to catch up on. Whether it's Star Trek, like any Star Trek, Lovecraft Country, like there's some stuff that I really want to check out. And geez, I hope that people came out and watched this thing, because I want to see another one of these shows in a year where we get a butt ton of movies and we get a butt ton of TV shows, like all these great genres that are getting represented in film and television. I want to see that, because the Oscars are really just movies that no one has seen, or that you gotta be in the know to know, or the Emmys where they nominate every TV show ever and you gotta watch every episode of television that came out that year, and that's hard, right? That's like hours of television. So watching the genre stuff, which to some people is their lives, it's cool to be represented, especially if the show is hosted by a movie director and a Latina. It's really great to see. I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. I hope so. Yeah, they had a lot of great one-liners throughout this thing. They had some surprising celebrity guests that I thought wouldn't be there, like in person instead of video messages. And on the one thing I wanted to mention before I bounce, before I leave, I wanted to say that everyone was self-aware and they all knew what they were doing. They all knew, like, oh, yo, never heard of this, but I'm happy to be nominated, happy to be here. We saw that a decent amount of times, whether it was from the presenters or the winners. So, hey, I'm glad we're all in on it, and we all know that this is new, and hopefully this doesn't just become a one-off thing that the CW does this one time. And before I bounce, Jessica Nieves in the chat. I've never watched Lovecraft. I get scared too easily. I want to watch it, but I'm not sure I'll be able to handle it. You and me both, sister. You and me both. Except I have seen the first episode, which is really good. but it's scary as hell. And I'll leave those type of things to Taylor and the Connor on this channel. But with that being said, thank you to everyone who watched and tuned in, to everyone who's blown up the chat, Mateo, Taylor, Jessica. Really appreciate you guys. Truly, thank you for coming on this. And watch all the programming, whether it's Spin from the Reel on Wednesdays or Really Scared on Thursdays, Wrestle Reel every Friday. Check that out. And everything we got in between. Real Talk on Sundays. They did a Real Talk earlier today. Go ahead and check that out on the social medias and on YouTube. Taylor Lovecraft is so good. I've heard nothing but good things. Nothing but good things. Taylor, thank you. No, man. Thank you, brother, for coming on. And Jess, if I don't see you at WatCon, ooh, I'm going to have to, like, it's going to turn to the boys out here. But you wouldn't get, like, the reference. Watch The Boys. It's so good. All right, y'all. It's been fun. It's Sunday night. Your boy has to do stuff. Critics' Choice Super Awards. It was a lot of fun. Surprising to me as a fan. Thank y'all. Watch all our programming. My name is Chris Anthony Lopez. I'll see you crazy kids next time.